the two that I pulled that go along with this card are take your mask off. What? Did we not already go into this last week? Take your mask off, baby. Mask off. And this card is the sadness card. Some of you are self-loathing.
Life's a coat of many colors. It is never black and white. Can't have one without the other. The dark without the light.
What up, y'all? What it do? I'm Miss Indigo Blue from ZenMothersGarden.com. Welcome to my channel. This is the weekly reading for July 12th through the 18th. Happy birthday to all of the Cancers out there. This channel is where you can find your monthly money, your monthly love, your weekly guidance reading, as well as new and full moon readings and impromptu channel chit chat. We are going to get straight into the message today. We are going to be using 3 oracle decks and the Medicine Woman Tarot to bring forth this message. All decks except for the Earth Magic Guidance deck has been already pulled. I'm only going to pull these energies so that I can move further into the energy. I have been hearing that there is a new beginning. This is a week of new starts. This is a week of new stability, newfound strength, newfound power. And so we're going to find out what is needed in order to really walk into that energy. So 3 of them have popped out already from Earth Magic. We have Childhood Innocence, Desert Vision Quest, and that whale, that breach. So if you saw last week's reading, you know that this card also came up, and we spoke about a break in contract or a breached baby, things being upside down. And so even with that, I'm feeling a lot of young, new energy. We got childhood and we got that breech baby. So we want to be careful that we aren't birthing things backwards. So a lot of us are starting new businesses and things of that nature, new ventures, even new relationships. If you're meeting new people, even as far-fetched as it might seem for the time being, there are still people who are getting out in the world despite the fact that they've been told to still kind of stay at home. And so make sure you're not going into things backwards. Make sure that you're not dealing with someone that's breaking a soul contract with yourself. Make sure that you are not dealing with people in ways that breaks soul contracts with yourself. So if you have boundaries and limitations that are set up, make sure that you are sticking to your guns when it comes to those. But be of that childhood innocence. Have an understanding that that person may not understand what your boundaries are, and that you might have to reveal them to them for them to get an understanding. You might definitely be meeting people who are from different worlds, whose life is rooted from a different place from where your life is rooted from. Therefore, having to use that childhood innocence and forgive them for they know not what they do type of thought process when it comes to them approaching your boundaries. You might also need to be a little more open and receptive to these new things, people, persons, places that are coming up in your life, and meet them with the childhood innocence. That meaning that you don't take again those old thoughts and those old things that you have formulated in your mind and reflect them upon what's in front of you. Are you being protective of yourself when you don't need to be? Or are you actually using your intuition? This is a very strong time to use intuition. With the sun being in Cancer, the Cancer is a very intuitive sign. The Cancer is that little kid who goes in the room, and it could be all family, all people that I pretty much know. But I'm about to sit here by my mama for about 15-20 minutes before I actually start moving around the room and get comfortable with the rest of y'all. And then once I'm good and I see that y'all cool and ain't nobody tripping, I'm all in. What's up? So the vision quest, whatever this new journey is that you might be going on, create a vision for it. Let's not go, excuse me, with the hair. This week is a little bit flyaway. Let's not go at this vision let's not go at this quest without a vision. Get a notebook, write things down, decide how you are going to do things play by play. Put things on your calendar for day by day. Don't overload yourself and don't try to do too much, but also don't do too little. Be open and flexible to the new things that might present themselves, the opportunities to spend time with people, the opportunities to go to new places, to find out new things. Be open to those things, but also make sure that you're getting the things that are on your calendar done. Don't be so open to these things that you are actually not getting done what needs to be done. So all of the tarot and oracle cards are face down. I have not taken a look at them yet. So we are going to first go to this Wild Kuan Yin oracle, as we always do, because I love this deck. And the card that has been pulled out is Above You, the Lantern Dancer. And again, we've recently seen this card in a reading. I believe it might have been a weekly reading. I know we've seen it recently. And this card says, look beyond what appears to be. Guidance grace like a star in the sky shows the way through what is happening now. I am the lantern dancer, lighting the way to a new path, a new reality for you. Even when the moon is full and you believe that you see all as it is, I know that there is something far more beautiful happening. Trust me, and I will show you. So I feel like some of you are going to have a blast from the past experience. People are going to be popping up, and because of the state of the current union, some people are in places where they feel kind of trapped. They feel like they're not doing so well, and they're going to need help, and they're going to need guidance from those who are doing quote unquote better or handling the situation better, were prepared to go into this situation better. And it may not be that you are just better off financially. You might just be more knowledgeable about resources, or more knowledgeable about certain things. So I feel like there might be 1, 2, maybe even 3 people who you encounter who really, you can tell, are feeling down on their luck. And it is going to be your job to put them on the right path of their vision. They are feeling like they are lost in the desert. They don't have anyone who they can turn to. They don't have any resources, and they're feeling sucked dry. Okay, they are feeling like they're not being replenished. Again, we talked about this last week about going into an environment where you get so much heat, and it just keeps pulling out of you and pulling out of you and pulling out of you. This is especially, I feel like, going to affect Aquarius. Aquarius, you have this thing in Pisces also, that you really want to see everybody winning. And Aquarius, you may have put yourself instead of in that unique and one of a kind category, more so in that I'm weird and I'm different category. And so the thing about that is that with the current resources, with the things that you are normally able to resource and point people into, you're not going to be able to do that. It's going to be time for you to come up with new ideas. And you have that in you. We all have it in us, not just the Aquarius and the Pisces. But think outside the box when these people are approaching you, because right now everybody's trying to get this one resource that used to be so readily available, and 200% more people are trying to get this other resource that used to be so readily available. It's going to be a time to teach them how to use certain resources to get to a certain place without having the ideal end goal be in place. And so when I say without having the ideal end goal be in place, some kind of big mosquito or something just landed on my light. When I say that, what do I mean? For instance, when you don't have any credit, you can't get a credit card, it's hard for you to get a job, you might have a bad history criminally, or you might have just been bad with your resources, going to school is an option. And you might be saying, oh, you're saying they got a bad criminal history, so what good is going to school going to do for them? There are a lot of people and a lot of organizations that present themselves to those schools that you can contact, that you can make relationships with. There are a lot of resources that you can get, even if you're not going to school to educate yourself. Go through the class and learn what you can learn, but use the monetary resources that are there. The school loans don't require a Social Security background check like other loans do. School loans don't require you to pay them back right away. And school loans don't have a high percentage rate when it is time to come pay them. Now, while you're doing these things, you can't just be idle and resting upon the money because it's not got to be paid back right now. You do want to at least be taking some type of classes that advance your mind in some way, shape, or form that is going to help you along the path that you have chosen. So it's important to choose your path first, and decide what it is that you want to do, and then go into these types of resources. It might be taking a lesser paying job than you really want to take just to be able to get the experiences that you want to have in your life, in your own business. Or just like myself, I did a lot of direct sales opportunities, and I can take a lot of that information that I use in those direct sales opportunities and now put them into my own business. And so it might not be something that you want to stick with for the long haul, but this might be a time for you to get into things that are going to help further advance your mind in your career. Okay, so it might seem like, why am I doing this, or what would I do that for? But I do feel like when these things are being presented to you, that you need to meet them with that childhood innocence, right? And really take a long thought and a long gander at these opportunities and see what they really hold for you. So, where are you currently? You are the exemplar of arrows. This is the Medicine Woman Tarot deck. Is the king, and the arrows is swords in this deck. And so you are the king of swords. And in this deck, this is about actually true communication and the power of delivery. And so again, you're going to have people coming to you who are needing some type of help, and you are going to be able to move them in the right direction with your words. So really use your wisdom and your knowledge and come straight from the heart when you are dealing with these people. Take very careful consideration as to what the details of their situation might be. Don't be overly judging, and really just give them your honest opinions without being harsh. Have a lot of compassion, and then guide them in the way that you would want someone else to guide you, but know them when you are talking to them. So when I say in the way that you would want someone else to guide you, I mean from the heart. You want somebody to be truthful, you want somebody to be honest, you want somebody to be forthright with you, but then when you give this information to them, you have to use the knowledge of their situation and how they do things and what they're capable of when you are giving them these ideas and these instructions about how to move. And so the bridge that you are crossing is the Five of Arrows. Okay, so again, we are with swords, and this is the card that speaks of noticing the needs of others. There we go. The Five of Arrows. So noticing the needs of others. You see those two people in the background, they're kind of onlookers, and they are noticing these two people here who are eating. One person has a lot, right? The lady in yellow has a lot. She's got food down here. She's got the bag. She's got food in her lap. The gentleman in front of her, his bowl is empty, and there's an elderly person and a young person in the background with their bowl. There's people coming to you who need help this week, and it's time for you to give them that food that you have for thought. It's time to share that. It's time to share your wisdom. She's like the oracle, right? She's like the oracle. She's sitting there, and they're waiting there for her to fill up their bowls, okay? And what will you experience when you cross this bridge is the 6 stones. Sorry, this camera's backwards. It's the 6 of stones. So as we take a look at this, we see someone who is laying a path, but this path, they are not laying the path on solid ground. They are laying this path in water. And what that means to me is that they are allowing that to flow out from them. They're allowing this to come from inside and go out and reach not just probably 1 to 2 individuals, but to reach the masses. The stones is the pinnacles, and so again, that's that giving nature, that's that helping nature. But what it does, because you have so much knowledge, and we talked again about having too much information stored in your mind, sometimes when you are not releasing that information out and it's being stored in your mind, your computer system is actually overloading. So take this as a look of putting an SD card into your computer and downloading some of the information into the SD card, and then being able to plug that SD card into other people's computers for them to upload. And so it doesn't take up so much space in your hard drive. You aren't feeling overwhelmed. You're able to assist the next person and help them move along and gain the knowledge that you have. It's time to share your knowledge. It's time to share your knowledge. Okay, so now we have the purification that is needed when crossing the bridge, and it is the apprentice of bowls. So bowls, of course, is cups, and the apprentice is the page. And this is you devoting yourself to your love, your peace, and your joy. This is you devoting yourself to what makes you happy. So, for those of you who have come across this reading, you have come here because you feel like you have not been serving your purpose. You feel like you have not been getting out there and helping people. You know that despite the many setbacks that our world is facing right now, that there's just more that can be done. There's more ways that you can reach people. There's more ways that you can help. And you've known this the whole time, and it's probably been frustrating you and building up within you. And you're like, but how? And how, when, who? And the who's are getting ready to be presented to you. The when is now, and the how will come to you on each individual basis. Okay, so you are the apprentice of bulls. So that is the purification that is needed for you to cross the bridge. And so what I'm going to do at this moment in time is to also emphasize this with what your blockages might be that are keeping you from being able to do these things. So I've pulled some Heal Yourself oracle cards to help us on these next steps in crossing this bridge. And so the two that I pulled that go along with this card are take your mask off. What? Did we not already go into this last week? Take your mask off, baby. Mask off. And this card is the sadness card. Some of you are self-loathing. What am I supposed to do? Who am I? This situation is bigger than me. I don't know how. I don't know what. No, it's not. It's not bigger than you. You have all the power that you need. All you have to do is tap into it. You have all the strength. You have all the knowledge. You have everything that you need. All you have to do is stop masking yourself in self-doubt. Quit putting on this facade and quit making yourself feel less than capable, because you are so capable. It's your time. Right now is your time. All you have to do is get there and get it. And as far as that sadness goes, use this childhood innocence to be one with yourself to determine what is causing the sadness and attack it. Remove it from your life. Gain some strength and be able to push forward, even if pushing forward has to make you gain the strength. Okay, so there's that breech, baby, that's upside down. Some of you think that you got to get strong first before you move forward. No, push forward and then recognize the results that you got from pushing forward. And then what that's going to do is it's going to remind you of your strength and your power. And wow, I did that. Wow, I looked at myself and I thought, and I had put all these false masks on myself about what I was incapable of when I had it in me all the time. Wow, amaze yourself this week. Put it in yourself to amaze yourself, whether you are amazing yourself as one or you are amazing yourself by working through other people. Giving these people these words and just the feedback that they're going, oh my gosh, that was the best advice that anyone has ever given me. Wow. You know, let yourself work, and through your words and through your power and through your strength. Okay. And so what's next is what is the creative focus that is needed in order for you to cross this bridge. And we got Totem of Pipes, the Eagle, the Flyer. So fly above, right? Look down and see the bigger picture from above. You have the ability to see this with eagle eyes. You have the ability to fly above and see what is really needed, where it's needed, who needs it most. And so open your heart and your mind and be able to do that. I actually do a exercise where I will sit here in this chair and I will see myself go straight up through whatever room is above me, through the ceiling. I'm in the sky and I'm going higher and higher. And just like when you're on that airplane, you feel the clouds that you go through and things of that nature. But you don't always want to go above the clouds if you want to see, what's right here. Come back down a little bit, be up in that sky, and really look and see what's moving and what's not. Look and see what all the pieces are to the puzzle. See where there's a piece of the puzzle missing, and then you'll know where to place yourself and where to guide yourself to. And I know that might be a far-fetched thought for some. So all I'm saying is look at the bigger picture, look at the long haul right now. Really try not to focus on exactly what is happening right now in the moment. Know that you are crossing paths with these people and these places and things, and take that in. But when you are giving the advice to people, remind them it's going to be probably hard in the beginning. It is going to require follow through. It's going to require push. It's going to require gumption. It's going to require dedication. It's going to require that you get in the boat and you keep rowing in order to get where you're going. Okay? So the 6 of stones again showed us that flow that it's going to be necessary to have, and then you're going to have to fly above. And so I feel like that with the Aquarius and the Pisces really having stood out to me in the beginning of this reading, that they just really showed up here in that as well. Okay, so now what must, we forgot to pull the card on that one. So the creative focus that is needed. Sexual arts can't get much more creative than that. So the sexual arts card comes out, and that's a 33, and that's a 6. So you probably recently went through some type of change yourself, and now you're kind of paying it forward because you have the experience of the change that you went through, and now you're allowed to pay it forward. At the same time, it's probably a wonderful time for you to get into some sexual magic. And for some of you, if you're recently meeting these people, it might not be a good idea to engage with them in that manner. However, if this is someone who you are very familiar with, who's popping up in your life, and they are maybe not in the best place, you know what I'm saying? But you know their heart. That's probably why you're willing to work with them. You know that they have perseverance. You know that they are able. You know that they are willing. You know that they are open. Then that's a person who you should be willing to share space with. And if you can go, well, if this is your current situation today and you want it changed as quickly as possible, there's no easier and greater force than this energy that we can combine together and create. Let's do it. Let's manifest some things. And while you are engaging, speak on those things, okay? That you have decided before you began to engage in that matter, and put it together. So what I'm saying is, while you're in the act, you need to remind that person, okay, I need you to be focused on having this or doing that right now because it's time for that. Okay? So let's bring it into fruition. This just became an adult conversation. So I will add that on to the beginning of the message. So you need to have that sexual expression. You need to have that creative expression. And if it's not a new person who you are, or a replay of a person who you are engaging with, then you need to find that energy within self and bring it out forward and front so that it can be manifested. It's time for you. This is kind of the resting week before the new moon, right? Because we have a new moon on the 20th. Happy birthday to me. And that will be time when you actually want to manifest the idea. So it is the time that you should be birthing the new ideas, so that when it comes time to manifest them, then with the new moon, you will be ready. So let's birth these new ideas and into ourselves, as well as helping other people birth their new ideas for themselves. Okay? And so, what must be scrutinized? So, this is going to be focusing this next card on what actually happens to be your blockages, what's in front of you, what's potentially keeping you from moving forward. All right. We have the Apprentice of Stones. So again, we see the Apprentice. This is a page. And this is the card that reflects on expanding your knowledge of source and of skill. And so you may not really know what valuable skills you hold. And because the people and persons and places that you are getting ready to encounter, it's going to become apparent to you. But they are all skills that you are going to need to further develop. If you have been given a gift of speech, if you've been given an idea to start some type of business and you really don't know where to begin, it is actually time for you to put the pedal to the metal and start these things. So a lot of the people who I feel like are in this energy space are going to be people who are helping other people. Again, it's going to be that time to develop new ideas and new ways of helping people, of utilizing resources, coming up with ways of going around things when you were able to before just go straight to them, because the world is changing and the world has changed so drastically that the ideas and the resources and the sources and the skills that we have are going to have to be tweaked to the new energies. And so it's going to be a week that's going to test you on these skills, make you remember the skills that you kindly tucked away and thought you were going to forget about or thought was the old you. And it's going to bring those things back to life and pull them into your current world. So we have the Heal Yourself card that goes along with this, and we get family and tribe. So what beautiful, what a beautiful message. You are now going to be more connected to source. So being more connected to source, you are automatically going to fall in with your tribe. It's also going to probably secure you a different place in your family, where family might have looked at you in a certain way and they might see you in a different way. Or if they already knew you were this, then that energy is going to get bigger and grow stronger. And so you're going to definitely feel more close to your family and more connected to your tribe. You are actually going to realize that some of these people who you thought were part of your past are really not the season, but lifetime allies. And so that's a wonderful place to be, because when we have those people who can pop up and we are open to receiving them because we know that they are a good person, or we know that they are really someone who we love. And if we would have had it our way, we would never have broken ties with this person. Then it's a time for reconnection with them. It's a time for rebuilding with them. It's a way of helping them. And when they say these things, and I believe it goes both ways behind every good man is a good woman, behind every great woman is a great man. And so it might be that you are rebuilding an old relationship with someone because situations have totally changed for him or her or for you. And now the current energy allows it so that you two are in the same place and able to share energy and able to work magic together. It might be that you two are blending a new family. It might be that, whoo, I just heard for some of you, their family had a negative aspects of who you are in relation to the way that you had to deal with them. And all of that's going to be deaded now. They are going to actually see you for who you really are. And that false mask that was placed upon you is going to be coming off. And so I feel like it will be one, a relief, but two, you always knew that you weren't that person. You never really put that mask on. It's like they had that mask hanging on the wall over there, but it was never being put on your face because you weren't accepting of that mask any old way. The person who you were dealing with always knew and never, ever, ever had that mask attributed to you. And so now it's going to also be that their friends, their family, and their people who surround them and their people who love them are really going to actually see you in a new and positive manner as well. So, um, if that's a blockage for you, the family and the tribe, I feel like it's not so much that the family and the tribe itself is a blockage, but that you are not connected to the family and the tribe that you need to be connected to, which is the actual blockage. So open yourself up to receiving these people that you are coming in contact with this week, because most likely they are people who are supposed to be in your life maybe for this day going forward. And so, what is our outcome? In reverse, we have the Tower, the pierced shield. We see that it's the Tower, and we are so thankful that it is in reverse. Like, what did I get on my nails? Lash glue. So wow, this is an avoidance of a tower moment. If you are open and receptive to the tide and the waves of change, right? The waves of change will carry you forward if you just allow them to. Right now, you are being guided by the divine to take a step in a new direction with a new or an old person, place, thing, career, idea, adventure. But whatever presents itself to yourself this week, open up to it like a flower and let its sun shine in and nourish you right to the core. Allow the little bee to come in and fertilize the relationship between yourself and this person, place, or thing, and allow it to grow and to bud. And it sounds like to me to even birth new experiences that you never even imagined were possible to take place in your life at this time. So, this is the weekly guidance reading for July 12th through July 18th. I thank you so much for tuning in. Should you want a personal reading, please visit me at zenmothersgarden.com/services, or you can visit zmgshop.com/zmg, as I will be doing a cover for this reading in blog form, and new things might be coming up as I do that. I love you. I thank you so much for staying tuned with me. Don't forget to hit that like button if this resonated with you, and to subscribe if you wish to see more readings such as these and ring that bell if you want to be reminded of those readings. Again, I will see you again soon. As always, have a wonderfully blessed week. Be open, be receptive, use your intuition, but most of all, follow your heart. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.
Because you might have been that person like, forget that baby mama, forget that baby's daddy, ain't nobody on that. Tell her she can do this. Tell him to quit calling my phone. Tell him to quit calling your phone, quit calling over here, quit doing all that. Da, 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 da. And now you're having to be the more mature person and dead all of that and really be like, okay, I have to give that part of me up because this is